Hello, hello, my crafty friends. Come on in, bring your project, and let's work on a few things. I'm Deborah, and I'm the hands behind Taylor's Yarn Creations. And so, on tonight, I'm going to be finishing up some of the projects that I have in my possession. This one, I don't know if you remember, I was working on those granny squares. Show you. I had did about 5 of these. Well, now I did my little blueberries, and I glued this one on. Turn it upside down. Isn't that cute? That one is glued on. This one is glued on, and I just need to do the other two, and then I need to piece all of them together. I decided I don't want to it has 5 pieces, but the one at the top, I'm not going to put anything on it. And then I'm going to create the I guess the band on it. Maybe I may do something. I guess it'll be like a bucket granny hat. But isn't that cute? Didn't it just I just love how it turned out. So I have that. I just need to glue that. And then I probably will finish that. And then I have these chickens. I need to put the little heads on them. I call them the helmet. On those two, and then the little mouth. And I'm finished with those. The little ones, I may make them into like keychains. But the big ones, I'm just going to sell them just as they are. This one is so soft. Oh my gosh. So I'm just kind of working on these projects for my next event. I still have some time to work on it. So I'm going to be finishing up that. And then I have some red yarn. I like the Lion brand. Not sponsored, but I like Lion brand. And so I'm making these cute little coin purses. It needs a button. I'm making a couple of these. So I made a blue one, a red one, a brown one, and I'm gonna probably try to work on a red one tonight. So I figure I will go ahead and work on that. And I have some sunflowers that I worked on. I think we worked on some sunflowers. I can't remember if we did together or not. But I have some sunflowers. I have the front of it and the back of it, and I just need to crochet the stem. So I have about 6 sunflowers almost ready. They're going to be keychains. I have so many chickens. So many chickens. Now I made about 15. They went to their forever home. And I think I have, what I did. I finally mastered how to make them all the same size. So I didn't want to send her different sizes. So I just decided to learn how to master it. And I did, so that they were all the same size. So I'm just kind of weaving in the finishing touch of this chicken. It's real, the yarn. I don't know where I got this yarn from, but it's kind of falling apart. Good thing I finished it. These little pieces here. I think I want to say I got this yarn from Michael's. It wasn't a cheap yarn, meaning it wasn't a Dollar Tree yarn. It was but it's falling apart, and I'm just going ahead, and thankfully it didn't fall apart while I was putting it together. But this little end piece is trying to give me the blues, but it better go on. Better go on somewhere. So today it's been a pretty nice day. It rained a little bit yesterday. There. That one is the ends all together. This yarn is the baby Himalayan. And so, of course, it came out smaller than this big one. But the big one is the yarn is from Hobby Lobby, not Hobby Lobby, Michaels. And I don't know that yarn, it is not the best. I don't know what they did, where they got it from, but they need to send it back. Because I made a duck and I bought some orange yarn for the beak. The yarn did just like this. All these little pieces. I couldn't even make the duck. I had to go and buy some yarn for it because, these yarns, you just, especially when you're dealing with plushy yarn. I don't know if you know of any good plushy stores. I'd like to hear, because there's nothing worse than when your yarn falls apart. I mean, I don't want to give anybody any products that I make with yarn falling apart. Just as a disclaimer, last week, my internet was not faithful to me. It cut off and it can cut off again. So just as a warning, if the internet cuts off, I will hang in there until at least I'm going to be on here probably at least a half an hour to 45 minutes. And then I'll call it a night unless we have a good conversation. So now I'm going to put on what I call the little helmet with the red yarn, red fluffy yarn. I've made so many of these chickens. I promise you, I think I know the pattern by heart. And that's scary when you start memorizing patterns. So, but it's sunny outside, but up here, I don't know, it's funny how the lighting is not always. I have this little light on, but even though I have the light on, it doesn't mean anything. You still have to kind of make sure you get extra lighting up here. So I'm just putting on the helmet or the little, I don't know what you call it, but not putting it on the brown chicken and sealing it tight. And I'll show you what it looks like once I finish. It works up pretty fast putting on the little, the crown of that's what it's called, the crown. So now I'm finished with that. I'm going to trim it. A little trimmer here. And then I'll weave in the ends. And that's one thing. And all my tools, you gotta have your tools. Tools of the trade. So I haven't been up here all week, but I think this is great when I can come on and just kind of finish up some projects on a consistent basis. It helps me to know that, hey, right about 6:30, almost 7 o'clock, you go live, you get some projects done. If you can get some collaborators that come in and join and work on their projects with you, great. I need to do a better advertisement on it and let people know. But some days I just need to get it done. I try to make sure that the little dog gets fed before I come up here. So sometimes he's funny acting. You have to kind of, some days he eats like he's starving. And other days it's like, come on, eat. So I can go on about my business, because he has a little routine. He'll eat, and then he goes and drinks some water, and then he has to go outside. And then he's pretty much satisfied. And he's a creature of habit. These animals, he's more consistent with his behavior than I am. So, poor thing. So But he teaches you dogs. I think dogs can teach you lessons in life. So this red yarn, I don't know where I got this red yarn from, but it's pretty tight. It doesn't fall apart. I don't know why some yarns fall apart, plushy yarns fall apart, and others are stable. The Himalayan baby yarn is pretty solid. I haven't had any like shreds with it, but this one particular yarn at Michael's, they have the prettiest colors, but don't do it. You just need this little, wow. And he's finished. I add a little keychain, but the bigger one, I'm going to sell him without the keychain. Let's put his crown on. But once you get it sewn, I don't have any problems with it splitting. It's just the ends kind of come apart. So let's get his crown or her crown. You never know. They may want to call it a girl. But I'm calling it a him. He's a pucker upper. He's a big one. But he's so soft. I mean, this yarn is just it's definitely for babies. It's definitely a baby blanket type yarn. But it's not the ends of it are very frail, especially like if you're trying to get it started with the magic circle, you can forget it. So sometimes I'll do in this particular case I did like 2 chains, and then I made the second one I went on and just the second chain I just started my single crochet stitches. So we are working on this. He's coming along nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and finish his crown. Call that chicken. Hen, chicken, rooster, whatever. I'm a city girl. So if you, I don't know. They call them chickens. When I bought the pattern, they called it a chicken. So, but it looks like a rooster. And they're really fun to make. They work up fast. I made so many of them. And I really enjoy making them. Probably made too many of them. So if you are joining me and if the internet acts funny, hang in there. I'm going to come back. Because sometimes my internet goes in and out. Today is pretty stable. It's a beautiful day outside. No real odd weather happening. It rained yesterday. Rained a little bit this morning. Too bad. Just weaving in the ends of the chicken. Hope you have your project you're working on. I'm going to try to finish up a few of these projects and start on some more. Let's get this little chicken finished. And then I got to get his mouth. I don't think I have the little orange yarn without looking for. I don't want to start another orange pack. So yarn. So I should have some. I should have some finished. Isn't he cute? So I just finished up these two. They just need their mouths. And this one, oh my gosh, it's soft. So that's finished. And then I have my blueberry granny squares. I have to do that. And I'm going to preserve my red yarn. I'm going to roll it into this little ball. Just in case I make some more chickens, I don't want to lose it. because it doesn't take a lot of red yarn. So when I have these two, I have to find some buttons. These two are like little, you can be an iPod, you put an iPod in it, put coins. I thought about adding a what do you call it? A liner, but I said no. And it's got the little string, so I'm gonna add a keychain there. Needs to add the button, and then that'll be finished. Isn't that cute? When I saw the pattern, I was like, I have got to get this. And so I have a blue one. Now I'm going to work on a red one. They work really fast. I just tend to use this. I'm going to be using Lion Brand, not sponsored. Lion Brand. This is the red. Let's see. Yeah, the red. And I'm using a 3mm hook. These hooks are by Hobby Lobby, and I really like them. I like the way they feel in my hand, and they really cost effective. So I got a little bag here where I can just put my little scraps. And so I'm going to be taking off the package. Hopefully I'll be using something with it, and hope I can find this end. You know, nothing worse than yarn bar. Nothing worse than yarn bar. Come on, you can do the right thing. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. This is when you're playing chicken. You know how you play chicken with the yarn? You're trying to stretch it. This is playing chicken. Thank you. What are you working on, Erica? So I just wanted to get on, and this is a great time to just try to finish up some projects. If it feels like, it feels like yarn bar. I think it is. It's yarn bar. But what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to wrap it. Because there's nothing worse than when it gets tangled. Ooh, when it gets tangled, you talk about war. So I don't, some people will wind their yarn. I don't have time to do all that fancy stuff. Maybe one day I'll sit down, and I got a yarn winder over there, and maybe one day I'll sit down and do some yarn winding of the yarns that I started. But if I can get this yarn bar up, and don't fight it, you cannot fight the yarn. You fight it, it'll fight you back. That brown, I had some brown, this color brown, me and it had a war. Knitting. I can imagine. Especially if you're doing more than one color. That's good. You do both. You know, I know how to knit, but I haven't knitted since I was young. And I think you tend to have a preference for one or the other more. So knitting, I have knitting needles. I know how to get it started. I probably just know that one stitch, but that's it. Oh, great. I'm going to try to come on Tuesdays until I finish my event. I got an event coming up in a couple weeks, maybe about a month and a half or so. So I'm going to be coming up here on Tuesdays between like 6:30 and 7. Not past 7, hopefully, unless something odd happens. You know, you got a whole lot of shaking going on. In West Tennessee, we had a whole lot of shaking. I mean not west, east, going back that way. East Tennessee, up in the mountains, Gatlinburg and Nashville. There was a whole lot of shaking. And we right here on this fault here in the Memphis region. So I'm just like, stabilize us, Lord. Stabilize us, please. Because we on that New Madrid fault. Colorado. Oh, okay. Is it? I hear you guys have been having a little snow. This weather is just off. It's just so off. Just it's just weird the way things are happening. Uh, so I'm starting. I wrote down some instructions on how to do this pattern. I hope I can read my chicken scratch. I need to really go back and make it neater. Because if I'm going to duplicate this pattern, so I have my little, don't look too close. It's bad writing. But I'm hoping to try to, it took me a minute to do a granny square. And this one, see, I show you my blueberries. I got to find my glue gun up here. I know. It's supposed to get hotter here, and this storm's coming. So this is the blueberry hat. I have 4 squares. I got 2 blueberries sewn together, and I have 2 more that need to be. This one is loose. I need to find my glue gun while I'm up here and put those together, and then I'm going to do the little band on it, and then that should be finished. I have to see if it how it works. If it's something, I'm just going to do one because I don't know how people feel about it. Memphis is pretty funny acting about these hats. Now Christmas time, I have a knitting machine. That's about as much knitting, Erica, that I do is my knitting machine. And sometimes they like the hats, like the people that are from the north. If they're buying something for their family member from the north, they will buy hats. But I noticed that most people like the crochet hats for some reason. But overall, these Tennesseans, they need to get with the program. Because I like making hats. I like making hats. Oh my gosh, my craft room setup is a hot mess. Behind me, this little black thing there, I was going to sell it. I'm on a computer, but I decided to keep it because I have yarn in tubs and I'm trying to get them out of these tubs. So I have a few tubs. It's getting empty now. And my family came and they helped me organize this room. Really nice. But this thing right here, right there, did not have, it started collapsing. So I had to take everything out of this tub, and then they had stuff in there, and I decided to zip tie it together. So now it's sturdy, and then I was going to get rid of that, and I said, no, I'm just going to fill it. So I started filling it, and then I got these 3 little shelves here. I need taller shelves, Erica. I need taller shelves. They were not too tall, probably about 5 feet maybe. But if they were taller, then it'd be nice. But I have, let's see, the bottom shelves can be filled with yarn. This can be still filled with yarn. And so I'm organizing my tubs now by yarn type, because when my family came, they were so sweet and so efficient in helping me. They put everything color coordinated together. But we know that cotton yarn is not the same as acrylic. And the fluffy yarns can be all together, but at the end of the day, they kind of put the cotton yarn with the acrylic yarn because they were all red. And so I had to redo it all. And I haven't spent as much time up here as I like. But I'm gonna come back over here. And over there, I have a desk, and it has my knitting machine, my Addy knitting machine. So yes, that's because this part is organized. But I have a table here. It's got bags and stuff on it. And I'm trying to keep it, how do I say? I'm trying to keep it organized. It looks nice and it's getting there, but it hasn't gotten there. And that's color coordinated, but I still got like maybe 3, 4 tubs over there that need to be emptied out. And then I can probably have more room. But it's organized in a chaotic way, in a very chaotic way. Um, for now. And then I bought this table here because I wanted a white table. I think I got it from IKEA. And it has this, my husband is an enabler. He got me this knitting machine that you do like this. And I tried to use it and I got it to work one time and then I just kind of boop, let it stay there. And then I got this little table that I had downstairs and I brought it up here and it fits right neatly under this table. And this one is a white table as well. And I like the white table because if I'm taking pictures of something, it already has the white background. But this is my little she shed. No one comes up here. Now downstairs, I have yarn, hidden yarn. I have it hiding in a a dresser that's supposed to be empty. I was gonna sell it, but this can be my yarn stash. So I have that downstairs. But otherwise, if I was to redo this, I thought about getting the walls painted. My sister was like, get it painted orange, for that creativity. And I was like, I would love to have that, but I have to be able to live with it. So I thought maybe most of the houses that I call it puke, some kind of brown. I don't know what you call it. I don't know what you call it. The whole house is pretty much that color. And I haven't changed out the color because not only did they get this brown here, but the counters downstairs and the flooring is kind of brown. And it's like, no. About thoughts on gifts on. I know. For knitting. What you can do. It depends on who they are. Hats they would like a hat. I would recommend maybe like Christmas, do hats. Don't put no lot of effort into it. Like a little beanie. Try doing a beanie if they like beanies. A lot of times when you're talking about yarn items, it seems like it's not until it gets cold that they really, really appreciate it. So I wouldn't do anything until then. If you have little kids, oh, they love all kinds of things. You can do chickens for them. You can do little toy items like that. I know. I do. I hide my yarn, and I need to bring it up here, and then it'll mess up the room. I'll get it all organized and all cute and stuff, and then I'll go and bring up my hidden treasures. So I got the little. I was running my mouth. The little square done, and I gotta remember how I did it. I think I know. I did a couple of these. So you can I would start with that. Start with something personal, maybe like I say a hat or something, Maybe they'll appreciate it. Hats are always neat, especially wintertime. I know people love hats, especially knitted hats. They can you if you're doing it by hand. Now this knitting machine can do so much, but nothing like a handmade knitted item. Nothing, nothing. If you have older people, little lap, like you did something where they like to stay warm, a little shawl or something. You know what? I grew up in a home where it was like four of us, and then I raised my nieces for a minute, and I just learned how to tune things out, including my little dog. And I was in when I was in college, I had to do this paper, and I went to where did I go? I went to this Panera's, and the ladies were talking. They said, "Oh, we're gonna interrupt you," and I'm like, "No, you're not. This paper gonna get done today. I'm gonna tune you all the way out. So you go and laugh and cackle and whatever. You know, you'll be able to do it." Yes, handmade feels better, it looks better, and sometimes they keep it forever. You'll be surprised once they do that. Just think about the person and think about, something that they may like. Sometimes cup cozies, but sometimes not. Maybe like a rug mug. You can try one of those little rug mugs and see how they feel about it. And just, try that as a starter. But definitely hats. Everybody loves a hat. Everybody. And if they don't, it just depends on like the weather. Like I made a bunch of hats here, and I'll give it away I'll give it away in a minute to the homeless shelter. Don't play. You don't like my hat? No problem. Somebody will wear it. Somebody will love your items. Do you go to any craft events in Colorado? I've been setting up at a few. First time I ever set up was back in 2013. I had made a bunch of like sports themed couches. I found this pattern and I made it sports themed couches. And I don't think I sold any. Sold a few things, but then the next year somebody came and they made the cloth ones. And the cloth ones, I'm like, the cloth ones, nothing like what I did. But they did them. And I was going to say, honey, they're not going to sell. They're not going to sell. So why are you trying to mimic? In some of these events, you have to kind of gauge the people. You have to gauge whether or not you have a group of people that's going to like and appreciate what you do. Some people, but you make it look professional. If you make it professional and the price is right, somebody's going to buy something from you. It's just you have to price it right. Some people price their stuff so high, nobody wants to buy it. I understand that you feel like your time is money, and they say, well, I charge $25 an hour. And I think to myself, okay, so if this chicken took me an hour to make it, which it didn't, but if it took me an hour to make it, do you think I'm going to charge $25 plus the supplies? I can, but who you think is going to buy it? I'm not paying $25 for no stuffed chicken. Wrong audience. You got to know your audience. And you don't want to undersell yourself either. It's just that I feel like if you're going to go to an event, like if you're setting up at a church, You don't want to bring an item that took you hours and hours to make. Say for example, a blanket. I've seen ladies that sit up there and they have these blankets and they want to sell them, but you're not going to sell them because, for one, it looked like you got the yarn from the Dollar Tree. And even Dollar Tree look better than some of the yarns I've seen. You got to make it valuable, and you're not going to get $200 for queen size handmade blanket. You're just not at no church event. I mean, first of all, you have to kind of know your audience. Now, if you had very high quality type blankets and you set up in like Midtown, Collierville, or Germantown out here in Memphis, the Memphis region, they might buy it. But you gotta think about your customer and what they need and what they would like to buy. They buy like here's another thing you can make dish towels. Everybody loves dish towels. Washcloths. I would call them dish towels. Make them some dish towels. Some really nice. People love that. That's something that you don't have to wait until a certain type of weather to use. My husband loves the dish towels I make. It's like I made one for my little dog, his bowl, when I clean his bowl, because I don't I keep him clean, but your mouth is where you eat is not gonna be. I'm not gonna be putting it on my dishes. Okay, well, you have a great night, and I'll see you if you want to come back next Tuesday about this time. We'll finish again. All right. I'll have to find you. Till next time, I'm going to be on here for a little bit till I at least finish this. I have come along. I don't want to just stop halfway. So you have a great night. I'm going to be finishing up this. Don't want to stop. I feel like the Michael Jackson song. My niece used to call him Michael Jacket. So I'll be working on this at least to this end. And then I could say I've been a little bit productive. I got to find my glue gun. And I got to dig up here and find this glue gun. And glue these blueberries together. I may come back on, I don't know. I don't want to say any days. I started to come back this weekend and decided not to. Okay. Let's see how we can do this. Slip stitch it. Put it together. I find these granny squares so fun to make. Works up perfectly. Let's see how I did this little edge part. And I'm going to call it a night, ladies. Until next time, if you watch the replay, be sure to like, subscribe, turn on your notification. I will be here next Tuesday. Definitely, if I'm not here again later this weekend. If I come back on, I will try to do a little notification of some sort. So until next time, keep crocheting, stay happy, and live long.